Hi, Assalamualaikum and good day to DATIN JANNATUL binti AHMAD KAMAL. Our group will present the finding aids with the topic Father of Development Tun Abdul Razak. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is NURIN SABRIANA binti MUSTAFA and I will explaining a part of from introduction and chapter 1.
Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein is a well-known name in society for his historical greatness. Because of his leadership as a statesman, he is regarded to be the father of development through a successful new economic policy for rural and urban areas. Leadership Tun Abdul Razak highlighted when he active in the political field and when he joined the United Malays National Organisation UMNO. He was elected as the UMNO Youth Chief and was appointed as the second Prime Minister from 1970 until 1976. Tun Abdul Razak's leadership as a statesman in international relations was in line with the development plan in the country. Clearly, leadership of Tun Abdul Razak is in line with the country's growth strategy. Second example related to the implementation of the neutrality policy during the era of Tun Abdul Razak leadership. This is a necessity in the development of an independent country is Malaysia. Moreover, diplomatic relations between the Malaysia and the communist country is still maintained. Furthermore, this implementation has successfully expanded diplomatic relations with the outside country such as Africa and Asia, Latin America, the South Pacific and the Middle East. Thus, this implementation during the era of his leadership as the second Prime Minister was agreed with the concept of Zone of Peace, Freedom and Neutrality, which is ZOFAN. Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein was given the name and known as the Father of Development, was born on 11 March 1922 in Pulau Keladi, Pekan Pahang. His name Abdul Razak means servant of Allah. This can show that he is a person who always thinks and strives to improve the lives of the people by following the commandments of Allah. Orang Kaya Indra Shah Bandar is a nickname for Datuk Hussein bin Muhammad Taib, is the father of Tun Abdul Razak, who is descendant of a Sulawesi Indonesian warrior. His father dealt in Malaya and resided in Pahang. The mother of Tun Abdul Razak is Hajah Teh binti Daud. Tun Abdul Razak is known as a nobleman as he originated from luxurious background life. Early education of Tun Abdul Razak. Tun Abdul Razak received his early education in Sekolah Melayu Kampung Jambu Langgar. Even though he came from an aristocratic family, he still lived like everyone else by having to commute on foot and barefoot for miles from home to school. Tun Abdul Razak has shown excellence in education since his primary school. His school has wooden walls, a nipah roof and a dirt floor. On a rainy day, the students could not study because of the leaking roof and the rickshaw floor. However, Tun Abdul Razak is able to adapt to any situation of it. After the Tun Abdul Razak signed to the Malay College Kuala Kangsar to customize for nobility and is only at the time, he was an officer in the trial for the Malay Administrative Service in 1939. From a primary school onwards, Tun Abdul Razak has shown their excellent ability in the field of education. Each year, he was able to scoop up prize in class. Tun Abdul Razak's teenager life. He has received a scholarship that allows him to take 3-year courses in economics, laws and history at the Raffles College, Singapore. Raffles College is a tertiary institution that has been established in Singapore for diploma course. His studies at Raffles College were disrupted when World War II broke out, and after the Japanese conquered the Singapore, the college was closed. He had no other choice, so he returned to Pahang. But Tun Abdul Razak get along with the Ghazali Shafi'i, an old friend, proposed a guerrilla way to oppose the Japanese. He also contacted the 136 Army, a guerrilla group opposed to Japan. He became the captain of the guerrilla force, which received the help of the British. Due to his active role against Japan, Tun Abdul Razak was awarded a scholarship to further his studies in law in the United Kingdom in 1947. His efficiency was further proven when he successfully completed his law studies at Lincoln Inns, London, in just 18 months. Tun Abdul Razak family. Tun Abdul Razak was married to Puan Rahal binti Tan Sri Haji Muhammad Noah on 4 September 1952. He was blessed with 5 bridesmen, namely Muhammad Najib, Ahmad Johari, Muhammad Nizam, Muhammad Nazim, and Muhammad Azir. On 22 September 1970, Tun Abdul Razak was appointed as the second Prime Minister of Malaysia to replace Tunku Abdul Rahman when Malaysia was plagued by racial unity and poverty. The history and the leadership of Tun Abdul Razak as the second Prime Minister for 6 years from 1970 to 1976 has made a great contributions in the political, economics and social aspects. On 14 January 1976, Tun Abdul Razak has died while receiving a medical treatment in London due to leukemia. After the death of Tun Abdul Razak, he was awarded the title of Father of Development. Tun Razak in memory.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Eaizarisha Husna. I will talk about Tun Abdul Razak in his political career. Abdul Razak was appointed Minister of Education after his first general election in Malaya in July 1955. Moreover, Abdul Razak joined Tunku Abdul Rahman February 1956 mission to London to demand the independence of Malaya from the British. So, he developed his so-called Red Book policy as the most important achievement. He also didn't waste the chance he had when he was in London. He used the time available to study policy and cultivate a broad-based concept of life. They saw a picture of they were warmly welcomed by Malaysia and several important people from London. Upon his return to the country, he served of Pahang state government as an assistant state secretary. He also success in the civil service was in line with his involvement in the struggle for independence. On 19 May 1969, the National Council of Movement (JANNATUL) was set up in 1969, and the problem that has arisen from outbreak of 30 May 1969 has been put forward. Tun Abdul Razak, together with Tun Dr. Ismail, Tan Sri Ghazali Shafi, and Tun Osman Muhammad Jiwa, Tan Muhammad Saleh, MCA Chairman, Lieutenant Dato Ismail, MIC Chairman, and Tun Abdul Razak has been appointed of Director of Majoran. Generally, Majoran has the function of maintaining order, ensuring smooth country governance, and controlling the state of harmony and mutual trust between people and different races. Tun Abdul Razak launched a significant new economic policy in the mid-1970s. It has two aims: to eradicate poverty irrespective of race and to redevelop society to eliminate racial identification through economic activity. So, following the incident on 30 May, the incarnation of the new economic policy and local negara from the soul of the population has given people a new impetus and enthusiasm in their struggle to promote political, economic, and social stability. So, in 1970, Abdul Razak bin Hussein also opened the exhibition Negara in Kuala Lumpur, the Balmoral Contest Drawing. This is because to give the community has a chance to show latent talent.
Hi, my name is NABILAH binti Razak. So, I will continue the presentation with the chapter 3, which is social activities. Firstly, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein made an official visit to the National Reporting Youth Training Centre in Dusun Tua, Ulu Langat, Selangor, accompanied by the Assistant Minister Culture, Youth and Sport, which is Datuk Engku Mohsen bin Abdul Qadir. The official visit was held on 14 August 1969. During the visit, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein was the Deputy Prime Minister and Director of Movement. On that day, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein officiated the opening of National Reporting Youth Force Training Center. The center was built by the Malaysian team of engineers. A total of 40 hostels that can accommodate 3,000 people was built. The Dusun Tua Youth Training Center is one of the 3 institutional training centers that organized by the Youth Divisional of Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. A total of 500 Malaysian youth reported at the National Reporting Youth Force Training Center in Dusun Tua, Ulu Langat on 1 October 1969. The Malaysian youth are made of various races are among the youths who have completed schooling or unable to continue their education to a higher level. Next, it shows when Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein during a visit to the UMBC National Library in Kuala Lumpur. On 19 October 1973, Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein paid an official visit to the National Library at the UMBC building in Kuala Lumpur. During the visiting, Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister was given some information by the staff of the National Library about their books, their collections, their services that are available in the library itself. The National Library was established as a unit under the National Archive to implement the Book Preservation Act 1966. Lastly, for this chapter, which is social activities, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein with the Young Administrator Dato' K. Tahalana Balasingham inspecting the TLDM Honorary Line in Woodland, Singapore during the TLDM anniversary. With that, on 4 July 1975, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein made an official visit to the Woodland base in Singapore during the TLDM anniversary. The arrival of Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein was there to state that the Royal Malaysian Navy will be further expanded in the framework of the Third Malaysian Plan. One of its plans are to replace the old ship and all equipment, including the construction on a base in Lumut, Perak and another one in Tanjung Gelang, Kuantan. Therefore, with the expansion of armed forces, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein has announced the promotion of several senior officials of Malaysian Armed Forces. With that, it showed that Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Abdul Razak have a good personality because he have a good relationship between many people.
Assalamualaikum and very good day to DATIN JANNATUL with Ahmad Kamal. My name is NURIN BATRISYIA binti ROSMAN, and I would like to continue this presentation by presenting the contribution of Tun Abdul Razak.
The contribution of Tun Abdul Razak can be seen in Rural Industrial Development Authority Training Centre, RIDA. Nowadays, it's best known as a University of Technology Mara, which were established on 1956 to help rural people to get the education that qualified for them. Tun Abdul Razak strictly assigned the policy that only Bumi Putra can further study there to protect their rights in this country. It has subsequently evolved to become Malaysia's largest higher education institution in terms of physical facilities, professor, staff, and student enrollment. His contribution can be seen in Federal Land Development Authority, FELDA. It was founded on July 1st, 1956 under the Land Development Ordinance of 1956 for the development of land and relocation with the goal of crediting poverty via the production of oil palm and rubber. Tun Abdul Razak wanted this organization to carry out land development and agricultural projects as well as industrial and commercial social economy initiative. Hence, rural people needs will be qualified. His contribution can be seen when he nominated as Chief of Country. Tun Abdul Razak was appointed as a Prime Minister of Malaysia, replacing Tunku Abdul Rahman on September 1970 after the 13 May incidents. Due to the incidents, Tun Abdul Razak declared a state of emergency and ruled by decree as the National Operation Council until 1970. He was called as a father of development as he's the one who instituted the new economic policy which defined the country economic course and has a lasting influence on the populations. Last but not least, his contribution can be seen in the People Volunteer Corps RAZLAT, closely connected to the Home Guard, which was created to protect the local from communists when the state of emergency was proclaimed in 1948 and was abolished when the state of emergency ended on July 31, 1960. Its goal was to keep communists at bay. At that time, Tun Abdul Razak was a Ministry of Defense. Therefore, he established this organization to protect country at that time since communists are not fully vanished from certain places.
Hello, my name is IMNALOVIKA novella JAMBURI. I would like to present about the award and recognitions that Tun Abdul Razak had achieved. So the first one is the establishment of Razak Report in 1956. So as a Minister of Education in 1955, Tun Abdul Razak had to play a role to reform and replace the existing system education to the national education system. So this is because he thinks that the establishment of Malay school and vernacular school for Chinese and Tamil are not beneficial to the consolidations for a multi-ethnic society. So this situation led to the introduction of Razak Report in 1956. The Razak Report was made to unite people from all races through school and Bahasa Melayu as the language of instruction. Through this situation, Tun Abdul Razak was known as an individual that cared a lot about peace and tranquility among the community. Next, the title Tun was given to Tun Abdul Razak in 1959. Tun Abdul Razak had become the Deputy Prime Minister in 1957 and held two portfolios, which are rural development and defense. He had taken the initiative on the Red Book in 1960 that led to the establishment of National Foundation that being developed and a system of operating space being implemented to identify the development that is done in rural area. Tun Abdul Razak also representative of the country as a member of the mission in February 1956 to London to seek independence of Tanah Melayu from British. So from this situation, he got the title Tun, which is one of the highest honor in 1959 by Sri Maharaja Mangkung Negara. Besides that, Tun Abdul Razak was also awarded as the Ramon Magsaysay Award for his leadership quality in the community. So the Board of Trustees of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation gave this recognition to Tun Abdul Razak because of his leadership skill in governing the country, which was so calm, efficient, and innovative. He expressed his gratitude to Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation for awarding him, and he also said that this recognition has paved the way for him to help the community to achieve progress with better achievement. So from this situation, it showed that Tun Abdul Razak never left the community behind and always looked after the welfare of the community without accessing their background. Last but not least, Tun Abdul Razak was given the title of Father of Development. So this is because of his contributions in making the policy of the national development system, especially for the rural economy. He has implemented various measures and policies involving the Bumiputra community in the economic sector. He did this because he wants to ensure that the future of this country is secure. So from this situation, the Federal Land Development Authority, Majlis Amanah Rakyat, Bank Bumiputra, Tabung Haji, Bank Pertanian and Petronas were established as a result of his effort with others former
In
leaders.
conclusion, Tun Abdul Razak is a dynamic innovator both in domestic and international advancement. In order to govern and develop Malaysia, the second Prime Minister planned different reform and present new strategy. Although he was delicate and calm, he was a tenacious leader who didn't know the significance of failure in his effort to improve, in particular, the way rural people live. Malaysia is no longer only famous, but part of his accomplishment and status in the developed countries with its involvement and contribution in the fight to uphold national sovereignty, people well-being and peace. Tun Abdul Razak has dedicated both his energy and his whole life. Abdul Razak, who was in part caused by leukemia, was buried at the Tomb of Heroes near the Kuala Lumpur Mosque while proceeding a medical post in London in 1970s. So he was aware of the need of social and economic inequalities that have raised racial antagonism and the new generation of Malay politicians. After his death, he was awarded of the title of Father of Development.